4, 3, 2, 1, top. Et décollage. Les paramètres de commande sont nominaux. La propulsion du premier étage est nominale.
Superb images as always. Soyuz blasting off into the sky above French Guiana. Heading out across the Atlantic, hauling itself against the pull of the Earth's gravity, all 300... Everything's going according to plan, he says. All 310 tons. We're burning 5 engines, 1 on the core stage, 4 on the boosters. There it is, coming out from behind the clouds.
Tous les paramètres à bord sont normaux, le vol est nominal.
Boosters are doing all the work right now. They're delivering 80% of our thrust. In fact, the total thrust is 336 tons. That is the equivalent of 3 Airbus 380s, you know, the great big planes, the double-deckers, or 7,500 family-sized cars. We're heading out east at the moment over the Atlantic Ocean. We're going to be travelling along the equator. Of course, this is the most efficient way to get to our required orbit, because we're travelling in the same direction as the rotation of the Earth, so we're saving on propellant.
Tous les paramètres à bord sont normaux.
And you can see the boosters falling away back to Earth. There they go. Can you see those 4 cylinders twisting and turning? It's all very carefully planned. So it's great to have been able to see that with the naked eye. The reason why we have now lost the boosters is because we don't need them anymore. They've burnt out their propellant, and of course the lighter we are, the faster we go, so we're shedding weight all the way through the launch. And we're now burning the main core stage, or the second stage, often known here as the Block A. A word about confirmations of major events in the flight. We are seeing key moments happening at the right time, but we get the actual confirmations of those milestones sometimes slightly later, and that's perfectly normal.
Tous les paramètres à bord sont normaux.
That's because it takes a little time for the information to get from the launcher to the range operations manager here at the Guyana Space Center, because the information goes via Moscow. That's where it's validated before coming to the Launch Control Center here at the CSG. Remember, teams there in the CVI. They then pass the information to the Range Operations Manager. Tonight that's Joel Igalji. And he calls out the confirmations only once he's got them. You can see on the top right-hand side of the screen, we call it the curve, the trajectory. The white dot is the actual position of the launcher. And there you can see that's the fairing, the tip, the nose of the vehicle. It has several jobs. Notably, it's protecting the satellites from the rigours of the launch. You can imagine how loud it is. Those acoustic vibrations. And also, it's protecting the satellites from friction, because it's travelling through the dense part of the atmosphere. So it's very hot. But no longer. We are now, if you look at our altitude on the bottom left-hand side of the screen, 127 kilometres above the Earth. We've come out of the thickest part of the atmosphere. And so there's no friction anymore. We've been able to lose that fairing. It falls back down, and we can see our 4 babies, the O3B satellites, for the first time. Lovingly built by the men and women at Thales Alenia Space, who are experts in this kind of thing. The blue rectangles you can see on the right hand side of the screen there, if you can just about make them out, those are the solar panels. Satellites are folded up during launch, and they'll be deploying those solar panels at separation. So we now have ignition of the third stage, and the second stage has fallen away back to Earth. And these are superb images from a previous launch. We had some onboard cameras. That's the real deal there, and you can see the planet, our planet below
Allumage du bloc
us.
I, extinction du bloc A et séparation. Tous les paramètres à bord sont normaux.
He's telling us that everything on board is normal. We're looking at
Marquage de la section arrière, stabilisation du lanceur confirmé.
We're looking at computer-generated images. They're showing us what the experts have calculated is actually happening to the launcher and the satellites in space. There they are, those images there on the middle part of the right-hand side of the screen. Basically, the teams plan a very precise schedule of events based on extremely accurate predictions, and then they put all that information into the computer, and these images are a simulation of those predictions. So every movement and every position that you see is based on exactly what has been planned for the flight. That thin blue line there is the Earth's atmosphere. Not very thick, is it? It's only taken us, took us about 4 minutes to get out of the Earth's atmosphere.
Tous les paramètres à bord sont normaux.
Makes you realise that we really do need to look after it.